Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I appear to be having a problem with my broadcasting. This particular live stream, as some of you may know, I am on my third attempt to go live, and I have no idea what you're able to see on the screen, as I don't see anything on my screen, but I do see a timer going by, and I'm hoping I will see the chats when everybody gets into. And I want to say happy everybody, and I hope you all had a wonderful and safe Easter. So let's see who's in the chats by now, if anybody. Oh, hey, good. I got a lot of people. Hi, Bubba. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Donna. Hello, Sherry. Marla. Now, Ronald's in, Sinsen, Kim, Miss Mendersu, Georgia, Jamie, Bubba, Ingrid, Damon, Nora. Let's see, everybody's rolling. Rubber Toe, how you doing, Rubber Toe? Cindy, Brighter Day. Isla, how are you? Do you all see anything on my screen? I have a black screen. I cannot see what's going on. Hi, Marla. Jersey Joe. If I missed anybody else, happy Easter to everybody. I have to play around and see what shows up on my screen. Here we go. Nothing. There. Now I have something on my screen. Did you all see that picture when I first went live? Or now I see, since it's a black screen. Okay, it should have something on there now. I don't know what's going on with this app, but happy Easter to everybody. And I hope you had a happy and safe Easter. And Nikki, I hope you're home safe and sound. So, you all should be able to see something now. Hi, Stephanie. Donna says it's fine now. That's great. And everybody says 5 by 5. Well, one time it's a, hi, Lori. One time it's a audio thing, and the next time it's a screen thing. That is very strange. I've never had this problem before. Hi, honey. How are you? Layla. Haha. So, Reba's in here too. Okay, great. Good. Everybody says it sounds good. Well, it's nice to see you all. I tell you, now I know you had a live stream earlier, Nikki. I didn't get a chance to tune in, but everybody should be concerned about what's going on in many places, but not just Ukraine, but Taiwan now is getting bristled up. And Mr. T, and I'm glad he didn't leave it as his last truth that he posted, because around 2:00 Washington time, he posted World War III right here. And that was kind of an ominous post, and it was up for a number of hours, but he did post again. This prior to the World War III post. He posted, can you believe that the totally corrupt Biden disinformation administration, I guess that's the BDA, is now trying to blame, quote, Trump for their incompetent exit from Afghanistan. They are the worst in history. Absolutely terrible people, always blaming someone else for their mistakes and blunders, of which there are many. And a lot of you saw Kirby up there twisting things around for everybody to think it was Mr. T's fault. But then on the other side of the mouth, they're saying that everything was great. But it was all Mr. T's fault, everything bad that happened. But other than that, everything was great. So this studio is a little bit wonky tonight for some reason. They updated the app. But I'm going to put this picture up. Wait 1 second. I'm going to put a picture up from Benny Johnson. And he put up a nice, actually the one you're seeing on the screen now is from, believe it or not, Kid Rock. Kid Rock put that up. And I'm no big fan of his. I listen to some of his music and I'm like, it's foul-mouthed and whatever, but such is the way it goes. But had Benny Johnson here put this one up. He is risen. Happy Easter. There's Benny Johnson. So I thought that was a nice photo. Death has no power here. That's right, Melinda. Kirby was getting mad. I had a good picture of him getting mad, too. A good little article on that, but things go by so fast and there's so much more to cover every day. And speaking of Kid Rock, this is a picture of Mr. T with Kid Rock and Mike Tyson and Dana Johnson. He was at the MMA fights today, and the whole arena erupted in applause. I know, Nikki. He's a Michigan boy, but he's got to clean up that mouth. That's my opinion. People can watch him. People can like him. But it's my opinion. It's not music I would have coming out of my car window. But anyway, as we contemplate what's happening in our world today and what has happened in the past and what Christ represents, this is a meme that came out 2 years ago, but it's going around. Everybody's got it going around this year. Of course, concerning the VAX and the way they've treated us all and the way other countries are treating their individuals. Hi, Shane. How are you doing? The most unsuccessful lockdown of all time. So, of course, people are associating religious thought with how governments are treating us. And, of course, we've been over in the past, many of you were with me in the past, how I discussed Christ flipping over the tables of the money changers and what I considered that to mean, money changing. For those of you who weren't with me during that broadcast, the long and the short of it was when they were devaluing currency and changing money out that had copper inside of it instead of solid silver. That was my thoughts on the matter, because during that time in Rome, the emperor was basically stealing from people by putting out money through a very artful way of coating copper with silver and faking out the people. So that's quite a bit what we're seeing today. Faking out the people, giving them something that's for their efforts and their labor, that they can put bread on their table with, food on their table, with something that's basically worthless. So anyway, this fellow here I talked about last night and a little bit the night before. ABC News. Again, you're going to watch that. Ousted Tennessee lawmaker Justin Pearson tells ABC News this week he expects to be quickly reappointed after what he called his, quote, unprecedented expulsion for participating in a raucous, unrecognized gun violence protest on the state floor. So, of course, I don't click on any of that because I don't want to see it. But I bring this person up because he was a rowdy, loud, obnoxious, radical individual that was disciplined for his juvenile behavior. And I'm bringing it up today because he did it all in the name of Christ. And it was offensive. I didn't play any of his statements. I could have recorded them and played them, but I found it to be offensive and blasphemous. So I am bringing him up on this special day because these are the ones we've got to watch. And he brought racial undertones and division into his discussion, at the same time bringing the Lord Christ into his justification for his actions. And I was watching another creator that I watch a lot, and I've discussed this theme in the past, that Christ is not one to say anything goes. It's not like Christ is walking around like a hippie, looking for somebody to smoke a joint with, and everything is okay. Love everybody no matter what. And he actually brought up the alphabet movement and added a couple of new letters I haven't heard yet, and I don't care what they mean. But actually intimated that Christ was on the side of this movement, and we all share the same opinion of the harmfulness of this movement. But this other creator put up a post today, and that's Bernie on, there you see, Truth and Art TV. Whoa, there you go. Would you recognize the Marxist blasphemous version of Jesus? I think you meant to say if shown. Know the difference. They say Jesus came to advocate for the marginalized. False. He did say the meek would inherit the earth. Jesus came to advocate for the poor. Well, it's false, as in that was not his only mission. Jesus came to advocate for this or that race or class. Absolutely false. The truth is that Jesus came to divide, call humanity to repentance, to save humanity from sin, to introduce the kingdom of heaven, to heal, to give hope, and to fill prophecy and his Father's will. That was Christ's mission on earth. It was not to say, love everybody no matter what. Do as thou wilt. Remember that? Do as thou wilt, which is the one of the chants of the Satan cult. Show so-called, quote, love for everybody no matter what they do. The definition of love in this counter cult, this establishment of a religion that we're witnessing that encourages the alphabet cult, their version of loving expressions are of a S3 actual nature, disregarding the purpose for procreation that represents, and using it for personal pleasure. So this individual here, as I said, was blasphemous. He was imparting beliefs and thoughts onto Christ that are contrary to his message, and it's fitting that this day I also put in my thumbnail, terrible swift sword. Terrible swift sword. Now, many of the younger viewers of this program won't know what song that came out of, but it came out of a song. Who in the chats can tell me what song Those three words are in terrible, swift sword. And I'm going to tie that into today. What happened today besides this being Easter Sunday? To give you guys a couple of seconds, because I know there's a delay. But what happened today? Two questions. Where did that word, what song is the words in? And what else happened today? Don't be Googling and cheating now. Use your gray matter in your head from your life experiences as a mature adult. And if we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't. And if we don't, I will tell everybody. I won't drag it out like I did last night, looking for Michael Horowitz's biography picture somewhere hidden in my phone. His Truth is Marching On, the name of the song, and that. No cheating on the Google. But if you do, you do. Terrible, swift sword. Grapes of Wrath, Roy says. That's another part of the song. Let's see. And who are they talking about has a terrible, swift sword? Wanda says, battle him of the Republic. And that says, battle him of the Republic. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He has trampled down the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He has loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. Our God is marching on. And it goes on with glory, glory, hallelujah. Now, I'm going to contrast that with this Marxist, blasphemous nonsense. This puppet was gibbering on the floor of the elected representatives in Tennessee. Christ is coming with his terrible, swift sword. His truth is marching on. And as Christ died to make men, let us live to make men holy as Christ. No, how does it go? As Christ died to make men holy, let us live to make men free. Our God is marching on. He talks about that Christ died to make men holy, and we will live to make men free. He never talked of division. He never talked of race. And when he comes, he's coming with a terrible, swift sword. And people like this, if they don't change, they will pay the price. He has sounded forth the trumpet. Nick's creation says, that shall never call retreat. He is sifting out the hearts of men before his judgment seat. Oh, be swift, my soul, to answer him. Be jubilant, my feet. Our God is marching on. That's exactly right. And do you know that song it still is to this day sung quite heartily. And if you ever get a good rendition of that and play it, it is truly uplifting. Hi, Gloria. Cindy said, Hydra by Toto. No, this song is way before that. Way before that. So what else, since we got that, and rather quickly, yes, Nikki said, please hit the thumbs up. Yes, that's right. Hilarious too. I'm reading Colossians 1:22. Yes. And yeah, Shane, I see what you're saying. That's the other thing. This individual called Christ that boy. When that boy died on the cross, That was Christ as a man. And he had a lot of different things that he said that was offensive. But what else happened today, folks, that we need to look at that is important to understanding, and especially to individuals like this rabble rouser you see on the screen. I want to see if anybody else gets it without going to the Google or just you think about this time of year and what significant happened, and it just so happened to be this very day. As we know, Easter Sunday doesn't always land on the same day, as like with Good Friday. Sometimes it's a different day. I don't think he'll be back either, Bubba. Annette, you guys sang it a couple of times this year. Yes, Awakened Dream, the resurrection, but something else happened today. And it has to do with our place in history, our place in history, and the relationship of man and God, and then this nation's place. That's right, Ronald. I'll get into that. China is surrounding. They're not surrounding them. They have them surrounded. Hi, Georgia. Well, that song was written for a particular occasion. That song was written during a particular time. Here, let me put something else up for you all to look at. Well, I will put, I'll leave that up for a bit, and then I'll put another drawing or a nice picture. See if anybody got it. What else happened today? Who was suspended for a week? Robert said Civil War. Netgraph said 1812. Robert, you're close. You are close. April 9th. Aracelis, how are you? Yes, this had something to do with the Civil War. The song that we were just singing and reading the lyrics happened during the Civil War. And let me put this up. And I'm not going to be snooping around for it like I did the last time. Once I took a historic screen or a screenshot of something important. People ask right here, the surrender at Appomattox was April 9th, but for all the forces of the Confederacy, it took some days for the rest of the forces to surrender, but Appomattox Courthouse, Appomattox County, Virginia, April 9th, 1865. Trapped by the Federals near the Appomattox Courthouse, Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered his army to Union General Ulysses S. Grant, precipitating the capitulation of other Confederate forces and leading to the end of the bloodiest conflict in American history. You know that a lot of you may not know, but most of you know that nearly 700,000 men died in that 4-year period, 48 months. More people, more soldiers died in that period, in that conflict on our own soil, than all our wars combined. World War I, World War II, on and on. The Korean conflict, the Vietnam War, all combined, we lost 700,000 souls. And of course, most of them very young. And that song, Battle Hymn of the Republic, went through the minds of a lot of men as they marched, and may have been one of the last songs they ever heard played prior to their passing. Both sides thought they were right. That is the time when the fifth law of war was added, and that was honor, that you honor your opponent if they are fighting for a just cause, what they feel is truly a just cause, and in an honorable way, that you do not belittle or injure them in any way as far as their honor. And what is unique about this conflict is in the records of discipline as far as complaints or crimes committed by soldiers on both sides. Do you know, like within the March to the Sea by Sherman, when the Union soldiers made a 10-mile swath of destruction all the way to the sea when they marched on Georgia and made Georgia howl. That was the term back then when Sherman said that the Confederate soldiers and the people of the South needed to feel the hard hand of war, that there were 0 documented cases of assaults on the fairer S3X, okay? And I can't say the R word, okay? But back then, that wasn't a situation. That wasn't a problem. They came in, and the soldiers behaved themselves with a populace that was helpless. And there were no reports with Sherman's March to Sea and other times when there was victories. The culture would not have allowed it to do that. And you look at what the situation is in other countries, other wars, and even our own soldiers during World War II. As I said, there were over 200 of them hanged in Nuremberg, our own soldiers, mostly for assaulting women. So back then, no, that kind of stuff didn't go on. But so as we think about the terrible swift sword of Christ and how much this country has sacrificed to stay unified, to become unified, and to do something else, what happened then? What happened after this war? We bound our nation's wounds, and this was a rebirth of our republic. It was a rebirth of our republic. And the other thing to remember, too, as I put it up here, I'm going to ask another little trivia question. April 15th, 1865. What else happened that day? This was a very busy week in our nation's history. And we'll see if somebody gets it in the chats. We know April 9th was the surrender at Appomattox. April 15th, 1865. Who can guess what happened without cheating, without Googling? I know sometimes when there's trivia games, people go Google and then they act like they're smarter than Alex Trebek. Now, you can't do that. But I talked about this in a live stream about a month ago and last year. SM says Lincoln. Lincoln. I know what you mean, Lincoln. So SM, President Lincoln. And nobody could belittle or doubt that Abraham Lincoln put his trust in the Bible, and his logical deliberations were based on two documents. His logical considerations were based on two documents, the Constitution and the Bible. Of course, he read the law books for procedures and this and that, but as far as his foundations in logic and reason, that's right, Nikki, they made that tax day, and I think that is to rub it in our face. So we think about these things this time of year, our nation's history, and what our nation means to the world, and what it has meant to the world as a shining beacon of light, dark to light, a ray of hope that can be seen around the world. And as I've said before, our nation, our greatest export is the American spirit, liberty. And true wisdom begins with fear of the Lord. And we want to be a wise nation that promotes the safest way, the best way for humanity to proceed. As my father said before he passed away, the marital condition, being married, having a nuclear family, is the best way. And as we can see what's going on with these wretches that are coming to us with this alternative lifestyle, so to speak, what they're tempting our children with is in total conflict with the Ten Commandments and the covenant God made with Moses and Abraham. So how they think that the world is going to flock to accept their nonsense. The sad thing about it is that there are so many Americans who have drifted, the great falling away, who don't even attempt to find out the rudimentary lessons of the Bible, the rudimentary history that caused us to be where we are today, not living in squalor, not having, as in the Baal of Peor, 23,000 people die overnight from filth and disease. So it's up to us to spread the word. And another video that came out, it's very brief, I'll play it real quick, is General Flynn. It's hard with these TikToks and Truth Social to get good copies of that. But what am I doing? What are many of us doing? It's just what Mr. General Flynn is saying here. I'll cut my mic off and play it.
Did a disservice to themselves, actually more than they did to this country. They did a disservice to themselves because they displayed an arrogance that is unprecedented. And so the American people decided to take over the idea of information. They took over the idea of information, and they did it through social media.
Now, as I said, these videos are difficult to copy, but he talked about how the American people decided to take over information because our news services have done us a great disservice and done themselves a great disservice with how they've treated this rising up against a multi-generational psyop, a fifth-generation war, where they win over the hearts and minds of people to the absurd. People are won over to the absurd. They will be given over to their own strong delusions. It's in the Bible, and they don't bat an eye. They don't bat an eye. When the people that are making decisions and running your life you see on the screen what you see, right? That's right, Bubba. We are the news, and I say the KNEWS because we knew what's going on. We know what's going on. We knew what was going to happen. Tennessee, be fruitful, not prosper. Be fruitful and multiply. Sorry to inform people that man can only have children prosper with a woman, and vice versa. That's right. It's a divine plan. It is a divine construct that they're in open conflict with. They're in open war with the divine conflict, divine construct, the covenant that was made with humanity and with our Lord. We news, Georgia said. That's right. We the news. So, and you figure you wave under somebody's nose something as serious as many times what I have put up, and I end up getting in trouble for it on this platform. I'll take a chance to put this meme up, but I put up young people that have been guided by adults who should know better, taking these young people and having them have permanent alterations to their physicality that was not intended by God. So that's the nice way I can say it, and hopefully I won't get knocked out of here for a week. George says, I'm very wary of Trump for this reason. Let me see, what reason are we talking about? Let me go see. Don't know what reason you're talking about. Why you would be wary of Trump? And I don't see it in the chats. I can only go so far back. But I welcome aboard harbinger, man of lawlessness, George Coggett. Welcome aboard, George. Things are set up so badly right now that people will pray for Trump. Okay, I'm trying to get, welcome aboard, George, but I'm trying to get what your notions are. From what I can see, there is no alternative on the political scene for what I have displayed on the screen. Protecting our little ones. There hadn't been any moves by anybody. And President Trump is not a lawless individual. They have to dream up things, dream up charges. They said, what has this man done? And I don't presume to compare Trump to Christ, but the trial of Christ was where Pontius Pilate said, this is an innocent man. You want me to, I want to give you Barabbas. How about Barabbas? He's a murderer. And they said, we'll take Barabbas. Give Barabbas to us. They took the murderer and did what they did to Christ. So human nature, for some reason, he said, and no one is perfect. No one is perfect, George. The charges only empower him from what you see, and I agree, because it is showing the duplicity of this government that is to protect itself and its criminality, it will resort to criminal tactics to protect itself from somebody who's going to come straighten it out. What Trump has done behind the scenes, not only behind the scenes, but what the media will not report that many of us know about, where he has put a stop to human trafficking. It's mind-boggling that this stuff was occurring. So that's right, Nix. This is why God gave us discernment. A strong delusion will be sent, fooling even the elect, George says. And that's what Christ said, even my own followers will be deceived, my own followers. So, anyway, well, George, if you feel leery of Trump, if you pick the alternative, I can tell you that there's going to be more human suffering. He is right now holding the light up down the path to sanity. Now, he's not perfect. Moses wasn't perfect. He stuttered. He argued with God. He gave God excuses why he couldn't do things. He got angry and struck the rock with his staff when he's brought forth water to the people and brought disrepute to holiness because of his wrathful behavior. So there are plenty of instances of imperfect men, David, Solomon, on down the line, because we are all imbibed with human frailty where we are imperfect. One thing, my father used to collect Japanese porcelain and artwork and pottery, and he would show me on these beautiful painted pieces where the artist would purposely make a mistake, let the brush stray, because you are not to do things perfect. That is for the divine. They would purposely put a little mistake somewhere in their artwork so as not to presume to imitate the divine. So we all have flaws. But this person, as we all think about it, not just our friend George tonight, but as we all cogitate on what's the right thing to do and the right path to walk, we have to look around and see what is the alternative. How fast is this freight train going? And where is the edge of the cliff? And how do we get humanity to stop from going over that cliff? And right now, Donald Trump is what you see. Yeah. Well, as I've said many times before, that the Bible says and Christ said, no one knows the day and the hour, not even Christ himself. We can be afraid of it if we want to be, but be not afraid. Be not afraid. And just like that, it's all going to come together just like that. So, I wouldn't go with occult sensations. Don't let the serpents whisper in your ear. Don't let the serpent whisper anything in your ear. As far you use your own heart and your own judgment. Here's the situation. Talk about the falling away. Here's somebody put up today. There's a fellow preaching. He's just praising Jesus on Easter Sunday, and he gets screamed at and accosted. I don't know how well this will play, but he handles it very nicely, about as well as you can expect.
Possession is real. Demons are actually real, guys. Let's just say that demons are real. This has no business. We're talking about actually shouting and screaming.
Now, who in their right mind, they see somebody saying, God bless everybody, praise the Lord, it's a beautiful, wonderful day. What person in their right mind would go up and follow a person around screaming filthy things at them? But that is the state of our nation today. And here's a good one for you. And everybody knows that this young lady was accosted. And I would say that she is going to get retribution. She's going to sue. She's going to sue the people that basically kidnapped her, physically assaulted her, and not only the individuals, but she's going to sue the group that sponsored them. The group that sponsored them. So these lawsuits can work both ways. And this business of them going after DJT opens the door up for so many other things to happen. So many other people to be on the chopping block. Here's Andy No put up something. Speaking of groups, an arsonist I saw many times while undercover in the 2020 Portland BLM Antifa riots was convicted of unaliving his infant son this week. This week. And this is somebody that was committing crimes in 2020 BLM Antifa. The baby had a fractured skull and brain bleeding. Read my report about Dakota Means, the BLM rioter who keeps on getting lenient sentences in Portland, Oregon. Anyway, this is that thing right here. And this is the young person that he put an end to that baby, okay? And these lawyers that are practicing lawfare, these prosecutors that are supporting these movements by giving them an inordinate amount of liberty and freedom when they belong in jail. These individuals they're making a list and checking it twice. So this young lady is going to find recompense for what happened to her, and her simple plea to be able to participate in a sports designed for women. And I'm going to tell you, I showed this yesterday, but it's going to go right up the ladder with this person here, Jane Fonda, with her purple hair, saying what to do about pro-life Americans, people that are actually publicly inciting others. And as for the concerns about DJT, who else has come out and taken the slings and arrows? Who else has come out and forced these demons into the light? No one but DJT. And then to all of a sudden, I understand what you're saying, what people say about the Antichrist and when he's going to come during the final days. We all have to understand we're presuming that we are in the final days. We cannot presume that. Just as I said, the fall of the Second Temple was 70 AD. To those people, it may have felt that they were in the end of days. And it wasn't. That was almost 2,000 years ago. So what this country is going through may not be the end of days. And people who are using scare tactics, because the enemy uses fear. Don't fall for it. Be not afraid. So to reject a warrior for Christ like Trump has put himself out to be because of fear of the end of days is very presumptuous and something that none of us can project. I would venture to say that the people of this nation, when their farms were being burned to the ground, when there were cannonballs flying, when you had friends and relatives who had 2 or 3 sons go off to war and never come home, they thought they were going to be seeing an Antichrist in the end of days. And thinking Lincoln was a servant of the devil. So we got to look at it from that perspective, and it is, to me, I'm not placing anything mystic on the fact that Good Friday is the same day as the surrender at Appomattox, and that this week represents the end of the Civil War in our nation, and Lincoln losing his life. It is just a fact of history that can make us reflect. This country's been through a lot worse. And we want to avoid that kind of human suffering. Here is a whistleblower, a former caseworker. News Nation put this out. As a former caseworker at a transgender clinic in St. Louis has gone into deeper detail about procedures she said caused her to complain to the state attorney general's office in February. She submitted a sworn affidavit to the Missouri Attorney General Bailey because of the treatment of children and their parents. And this would go back to the video I asked you all to go look at from Juanita Broderick, where the young girl said her parents were told they had a choice to either go through that types of surgery and those types of hormone treatments so they could have a living son instead of a dead daughter. They were telling them if they did not do this stuff, their daughter was going to commit suicide. And this person was a teenager. And that's fraud. It's criminal. And it needs to be brought out. Speaking of bringing things out, here's Andy Ngo again, a digital soldier. And I will say, people, I defended myself in the past as I'm not attacking the gay community by talking about the alphabet community. There is a difference. And Andy Ngo, I have featured him in this channel many times, and I've talked about many stars over the years that were gay and were not persecuted or bothered by people, or me included. And Andy Ngo happens to be gay. The lead investigator involving the case involving Daniel Perry. You all may have heard about this. Daniel Perry was an Uber driver who had a BLM activist point a rifle at him, an AR-15. And he defended himself. I'll put it that way. He defended himself, and the person died. And they just recently convicted him. So the governor in Texas has said he's working on a pardon for him. Hi, Karen. Hi, Lone Wolf. Hi, let's see, Christina, Georgia, our second Georgia. Jihad Bell, welcome aboard. Outlandish Patriot. And I'll get to some of these chats in a minute, but this is important, folks. Texas District Attorney Jose Garza of witness tampering. Okay, the lead attorney has formally accused the SORO-funded Travis County, Texas District Attorney of witness tampering. David Fugate wrote in an affidavit that he was pressured to remove exculpatory evidence in his presentation to the grand jury. Perry was convicted of murder for shooting dead an armed BLM militant who shut down the road and confronted him at his driver's window. Now, here is one page of the affidavit. If any of you want to get a screenshot of that, I know it's a little fuzzy, but it will come in good if you crop it down. That's one page of the affidavit. And where's my second page? Here is the second page of the affidavit. If you all want to get screenshots of that. This is very serious charges. Witness tampering. Yes, Abbott said he was going to pardon him. George says, got to run for now, but pleasure, God bless. And thank you, George. You have a wonderful day. If you get a chance, come on back and watch the rest of it, buddy. And like, share, and subscribe. Ha, ha, ha. Okay, so we got some witness tampering going on here. And that is coming out. I had a picture, a freeze frame of this individual. I'll have to find it in my studio, where there's no doubt. There's no doubt this person was under a severe threat. Now, I've covered how Christ is to be recognized, not portrayed. This person I put up at the beginning was trying to portray Christ for what he feels he should be. I am recognizing, okay, Christ. I'm not trying to portray him. And terrible swift sword. And so anyway, let me see if I can find that. I don't want to leave him up. I will. Here we go. That's what I'll leave up. Going out to complete his ministry. His ministry was 36 months. Hi, Tubla. 3 years. Maybe a little bit more than 3 years. And he changed the world. I talked to a person today who said, oh, you're one of those conspiracy theorists. And I rolled my eyes. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're calling me a conspiracy theorist? And unfortunately, that's the way we're viewed. And I said, you really don't see what's going on, do you? You really don't get it. And even if you say what you say is true, I'm one person. What can I do? I'm one person. You expect people to get all upset and get themselves all rabble roused when they're only one person and one person can only do so much. Well, I point to Christ. He was one person, and he changed the world in 3 years, more than any armies that ever marched or any king that ever sat on a throne. One man changed the course of history for the past 2,000 years, and it has given hope to billions of human beings. And so, yeah, we can make a difference. But I don't see that photo I had where there's a pretty clear shot of that the person that was fired upon had pointed that weapon directly at this Uber driver, and it's caught on film for the world to see. And how a jury could convict him, that's when they have to start looking at, okay, wait a minute. Is somebody getting paid to do this? To do these convictions? Let me see. I'm sure you all been talking in the chats while I've been pontificating, but let me see if I missed what I missed. Oh, Donna's leaving us. That's right, Ian. The guy pointed it right at him. And then that's right, Outlandish. You have somebody getting 10 years for making memes. And the guy did have an AK-47. Bubba, you're right. Yeah, Governor Abbott, he is PO'd, Marla said. PO'd. Yeah, he's going to come through. Governor Abbott's going to come through. And Honey says the teenage brain biology is oh, gosh, I jumped off the screen. They're already vulnerable, Honey says. They're already vulnerable without all these psychos. Without all these psychos coming after them. This has happened in Ukraine, folks, right here. This is an Orthodox church. This happened yesterday. This happened on Good Friday. So there's no denying there's a war against the church. And it's evident by these kinds of actions. And I had more footage of a priest defending himself from an attacker in Ukraine, and a prelate being arrested by uniformed members of the Ukrainian army. So here we go. Here's this young lady. Here we go. I said this 2 years ago when fake news was attacking 17 researchers, conspiracy theorists, and cultists. This is outright defamation of researchers. Yet no one except Flynn, no one sued. I research any website I want. Every attack, every insult should be turned into a lawsuit. Lawfare both ways. So this is referring to Riley Gaines. I will be pursuing legal action. They will face repercussions. Friday, less than 24 hours after she was assaulted by an angry mob in San Francisco, former University of Kentucky swimmer Riley Gaines appeared on news channels Tucker Carlson Tonight. So this individual, this Perry, once he gets pardoned, once he gets off, and this news comes out about him being set up, he's going to sue, and he'll have every right to sue. Let's see what this one is. Tucker Carlson. This is in Breitbart. Truth and Art TV put it out. Transgenderism is the most dangerous extremist group in the United States. There's no mistaking that. Friday, FNC host Tucker Carlson reacted to attack on former University of Kentucky swimmer Riley Gaines, who spoke out against transgender females competing in male collegiate athletics. So this is a snowball effect. This is a snowball effect where people have the courage to call it out. Now, I mentioned China. Oh, here's something else I'm going to put up for you folks. I still got a couple hundred of you here paying attention. Remember, this guy said, when I am acting attorney general for DJT, remember this person? Well, he said something yesterday, after I went live. No family has caused more destruction and despair in America over the last 3 years than Georgie Porgy Sorriosio and his son Alexander and their Open Society Foundation. Republican state attorney generals and district attorneys and prosecutors must get creative. Who paid for the bricks? Okay, Antifizzle's bricks. And it follows up with this article. Who paid for BLM and Antifa's bricks? Fox News. George Soros' son has visited the White House more than a dozen times since Biden took office. Records show. Alexander Soros, the son of liberal billionaire George Soros, has made at least 14 visits to the White House since Biden took office in 2021. You got to spell that name with zeros, Tubala, not O's. Zeros. And, well, we know that Congress can do a lot, just like with the state legislator did. But we have to have functioning, and free people have freedom of action, free from corruption in district attorneys and prosecutor offices. We have to have people that are not contaminated and are not part of a organization that's contrary to this Constitution, having infiltrated those offices. That is the key. Roy said, never understood how he got with so much and no one ever did anything about him or his foundation. That's right. Because he got them all paid off. That's why. And yes, they are. Tubala said they're hyped up on hormones. Outlandish Patriot, I think. Who said that? Somebody said they're hyped up on hormones. That's right. And what did I say for my new subscribers? I think I put this up the other night. I may not have. This is a 600-year-old picture, folks. And what they're doing is getting hormones, okay? Why does this image even exist? Why does this image even exist? So that's coming out. If it wasn't for DJT and his pursuit, his personal pursuit of Epstein, we would never known about it. So anyway, I discussed what was happening in CHYNA and Taiwan, right? Well, where did it go? Cinnamon Shogun put up an article about China surrounding Taiwan. And here is a photograph, a picture of Taiwan and our aircraft, the Nimitz, American aircraft carrier, and then the Shandong, China and aircraft carrier, which was moved into position a couple of days ago. And you see Taiwan there, and the red vessels are presumably potential hostile vessels that are facing off with the Taiwan Navy. And it's a very touchy situation. And they are also televising potential war games. So we'll have to, let me see, here we go. Give you an example of how Taiwan's relationship, physical relationship to China. And you have, I think, Governor Youngkin from Virginia saying he is going to visit Taipei soon. That's right, Larry. It's pretty gross what they do. But with little ones, it's even better, okay? They sell it openly on the internet, the interzones. So you got two developments from CHYNA. One is where Macron has come back from a visit in China, and I said he was getting his marching orders from Xi Jinping, and I'm right, because he came back and said Europe must resist pressure to become America's followers. The great risk Europe faces is getting caught up in crises that are not ours, the French president says in an interview upon his return from China, because he got a talking to, okay? Because they have been dancing to the Pentagon's drumbeat, dancing to the Pentagon's tune as far as sending stuff over to Ukraine, okay? Billions of dollars. Now all of a sudden the lights are cutting on, where they're saying, hey, we better not be the U.S.'s puppets, because I think China let Macron know something is going to hit the fan, because Mr. T said WW3, and I retruth that, and I put on top of that, when has he ever been wrong? Mr. T, when has he ever been wrong? Oh, thank you, Nikki. Nikki said, I've got a link in the description for Buy Me a Coffee if anybody wants to help an old man out. I don't get anything from any platform. It's totally run by my supporters with a Buy Me a Coffee. And wait a minute. So anyway, I've got a link in the description. I want to leave this picture up so people will get screenshots of it. Let me see. Yep, that's it right there, because that is something to show friends that think it's not true, you know. Why does that picture exist from 600 years ago? And it speaks for itself. I don't have to say much. But anyway, I've got a Buy Me a Coffee link in the description if anybody wants to help an old man out. And I appreciate everybody that's helped me with the Buy Me a Coffee link. I've seen many of you in the chats tonight. And so we covered what's going on so far in China, and we know that we've been warned by Mr. T that, look, there's Bill Barr. He's even got a cup of coffee. See? So now, wait a minute. I had one video of Mr. T. I might have to play that next time. I didn't know. I realized I was going on this long. Here we go. Here's the picture of this Perry. If you guys need a picture of it because your friends don't believe you when you say he was innocent and somebody pointed a gun on him, there is this circle around the person with the AK-47. And he's pointing it directly into that car. And he got on the losing end of that. And that's what they're trying to send Mr. Perry away for the rest of his life. Or oh, yeah. So you're talking about dogs. That's right. They do that to dogs, but they also do it to young people. So I'm going to put this picture up and hopefully I won't get in trouble for it. Let me see. And you all can get a screenshot and share it. And then I will put another picture up that I won't get in trouble for. Let me see. Where did it go? I will find it. Here we go. There we go. And you all can read that. Let me put it where you can get a good copy without having to really worry about trimming the borders up very much. Let me see. Let me mess with this a little bit, shrink this down, let that come back up, and you'll be able to get a good cut of this picture on a screenshot. And if you want to repost it anywhere you want, like I said, a meme ain't worth nothing if it ain't worth stealing, right? Ha ha ha. So, anyway, I've got all this information from last week I wanted to put up. Link in the description. By Mountain Man of Kofefe. Kofefe. I like that picture too, but I'm going to leave it. Let me see. I won't get in trouble for this one. I'll put it up. Wait a minute. It's just a meme about Joe Biden. Let me see. Here we go. Come on. Oh my gosh, I already got more than 5 photos. Jiminy crickets. I didn't know I had that many pictures up. There we go. Let's take that one down. Let's put this one up that we can finish out with about Joe Biden. There you go. Ha ha ha. No Ray? Dottie says no Ray. Nikki's going to bed. Y'all have a great night. I'm signing off too. This is Sunday night. I will be going up live tomorrow. We've got this pot bubbling in China, and God only knows what's going to happen. And Mr. T said today at about 2 o'clock Washington time, World War III. And he has never been wrong. If he has, somebody tell me when, okay? So that's got me scared. So anyway, I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. I hope you had a good time during this broadcast. And be not afraid. Be not afraid. Okay, folks, let's keep our chins up and as we walk through history together. Don't be afraid to tell your friends things, especially when you know there's something you can prove and they're not fantastic. They're not whispered to you by this phone. Okay, the serpent's whisper comes through this phone. If you don't know who's giving you the information, don't repeat it. But if you know it's real, talk it up, folks. Let's spread the word. We are digital soldiers. We are in a battle, and we will prevail. So you all have a great night. Thank you for spending your precious time with me. This is Mountain Man, over and out.